one of your controller ports not working, don't even trip, I got you. First thing you want to do is just grab a new controller port replacement with the ribbon cable. Once it comes in, start breaking down the PS2. To open the PS2 up, you gotta flip it over, start taking the screws underneath it off. Then once you do that, you could take the lid off, but be careful because there's a ribbon cable there that's attached to the power button. You don't want to rip that off. Next, on the controller port, just take the screws off where the fan is at, and the power button, take the screws off in the back. Make sure to keep track of all your screws too. Next, just slide the little power button out. Underneath there's another screw. Put that together, boom. Next thing you want to do, be careful with the ribbon cable. Like I mentioned, you don't want to rip it off. Flip everything over, just be careful with all the components. Take the bottom piece off. I like to clean as I go, so I got myself a little air can. Next thing you want to do is just knock off these 4 screws. And again, just keep track. If anything, just group them together. Keep it clean, hit it with the air again. Next thing you want to do is detach the fan. So before you do that, you got to take this green piece off. You got to unplug that. Boom, be careful with the power button wire. Let it breathe again, hit it with some air. Next thing you want to do is take off this little plastic piece underneath. Boom, hit it with some air. From there, you could peel back this little tape that's holding the fan cable together. Unplug that, boom. Next thing, you already know, hit it with some air. Clean it up a bit. From there, you're gonna have to switch it up. Get a fine Phillips head, take these little screws off, and I suggest using a magnetic screwdriver. That way it's easier to keep track of these tiny little screws. After that, you wanna pull back all of these little ribbon cables and try your best not to break them, because then you'll have a whole nother problem on your hands. I ended up using tweezers just to pull them out. There was 4 cables total. The last one at the bottom, you could just pull with your hands. Next thing you want to do is unclip the CD-ROM. Once we detach that, you're free to just peel off the exterior base. We keeping it clean, so we hit it with some air and did the same on the inside. We proceeded to set it to the side. Now, the reason why we're all here, as you can see, the controller port cable was held on by a clip. I just unclipped it. From there, I got the replacement, then compared it to the old one to make sure everything was correct. Now we're down to the last and final step. Next thing you're gonna want to do is just get the new cable, put it back into the port, and clip it down. From there, the fun begins, and you gotta reassemble everything.
Yes!